Welcome back to the Road Show this morning in the Buzz. It's a serious topic, but one that everybody is talking about, the political fallout from the shooting in Tucson, Arizona. Right now, police have not said exactly what the motive was behind the attempted assassination of Congresswoman Giffords, but it has certainly reignited the debate over heated political rhetoric and its potential consequences.
That's right. Over the weekend, many pointed to the angry confrontational language used in the run-up to the November elections, where some candidates used gun imagery and hinted at armed revolution in their campaigns. Now, at this point, there's no evidence that the shooter saw any of that imagery, but during a news conference Saturday night, the sheriff investigating the Tucson shooting railed against the, quote, anger and bigotry in the political landscape and how it could drive mentally unstable people to violence.
People tend to poo-poo this business about all the vitriol that we hear inflaming the American public by people who make a living off of doing that. That may be free speech, but it's not without consequences.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case in Arizona. Now, I guess we'll just start with, do you think the political rhetoric has just became too violent and too angry in this country, especially in this election cycle in November? Start with you, I guess, Michaela. What do you think? I mean, did it go too far?
It's hard to say. I mean, you never know how people are going to react to certain things. You never know how things are going to get taken, and so to blame the political rhetoric for someone's actions, it's hard to tell. I mean, you can't speak for others.
You know what? I don't think you can necessarily say one thing is linked to the other like this. However, I do think it has gone too far. I mean, you saw the politician earlier today from West Virginia who's got the rifle out and he's shooting at something.
That's
I think
a TV commercial.
It was a piece of legislation, I believe, that he was shooting at, right?
Right.
And, to say, oh, I'm going to take out this piece of legislation. I'm sorry, but do you really need that sort of violent imagery to get your point across? I don't think you do. I think it sends people the wrong message, and I don't get swayed by that as a voter. It turns me off as a voter.
How about the fact that TV shows and radio shows call in, whether they're not call in, they seem to ramp up the energy level, I guess, it's no secret if you watch Fox News, not this Fox News, but Fox Network, you're going to see more of a right-wing bias, and MSNBC more to the left. But do you think all that stuff gets people all wound up and makes them want to get more involved, in some cases the wrong way?
I think definitely. I mean, we are a society that is so hooked on, the internet and television and things like that. So it's hard not to let that seep in and not affect you. Exactly. You're surrounded by it every day, all hours of the day, for that matter. So it's hard not to get swept into that sometimes.
What about the whole, the question about the shows and the imagery, leading to violence? I mean, what do you think, Patrick? You never really answered that as far as, is there a connection?
Well, I think this whole I think it's great that people want to get involved in the political process, and I think this election cycle was really interesting because there was so much going on, and it was sort of take back your right to be an American citizen and vote and get involved in all that. Oh, yeah. But I just think that some of these commercials, seeing stuff with Sarah Palin and saying that this woman's district was in the crosshairs of, the Tea Party movement and all this stuff, and I think at times it goes too far. But again, there are crazy people all over the place. I mean, there's, we have a secure parking lot here at the TV station.
I know.
And I take for granted sometimes. I'm assuming that most people like me, but I hope they do. But you take for granted sometimes that I'm in a forum here where I can give my opinion and really tick somebody off.
Right.
And I still park sometimes in the part that's not secure. Do I worry about that? Never. I don't think about it ever when I go to work. Do you think this Congresswoman, worried about when she was going to the local supermarket to talk about what she's out to do in Washington? She thought about she was going to take a bullet to the temple?
And none of the people who were there thought about that. You think about the other people who were there to watch her, that poor 9-year-old girl and everybody else. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those turning points where something is going to happen, hopefully for the better.
I just wonder.
Everybody needs to calm down a little.
I agree, but I just wonder, and this is another topic for another time, is how people get their hands on weapons that shouldn't have them.
Apparently he bought this one legally.
Yeah, bought this one legally. I mean, that's just, in any event. All right, a lot to talk about. I'm sure this is the bloggers are buzzing about it this morning. Courtney?
Yeah, there's a lot of comments. I'm trying to get through them. We'll start on the live blog as usual on foxprovidence.com. This one's from Jean. She's back with us after a while, and she says, this is too sad and too scary and leaves me speechless. This next one here is from one artist, and she says, this shooter is off his rocker, mentally ill, but that shouldn't interfere with us Americans expressing their opinion. And Aaron S. says, Where is she here? Did I skip over it? I'm sorry, I'll go to Jean again. She says, do you think the intense media coverage incites other crazies? And here's the poll right underneath the live blog. Has political rhetoric gone too far? A, yes, the talk is becoming dangerous. Or B, no, all views have the right to be expressed. And we have a few comments on our Facebook page so far for those of you joining us. And Sean Miner says, of course it's gone too far. Everyone should just join the common cause of fixing multiple aspects of our country rather than debating the differences. He said there would be a lot less bloodshed if that was the case. So if you do want to weigh in, you're just joining us, definitely hop on the live blog, vote in the poll, and we'll have those results for you in about a half hour. But